Super Dragon Ball Heroes Craziest Moments Part 2. Super Dragon Ball Heroes is the show where every wish you have as a Dragon Ball fan may actually come true, which is why it is possible to create a massive reel with the craziest moments it has to offer, and even a part 2 of it. Goku, Gohan, and Bardock joined for a Kamehameha. It was episode 49 in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime, and Dbgt had reached a power level that called for some team action. Goku tried to take on Dbgt by himself initially, but after a few first seconds it was pretty clear that Goku's Kamehameha wasn't strong enough even in his Super Saiyan Blue form in order to stop Dbgt's technique. This is when future Gohan jumped in, joining his father in an unprecedented duo, but it still wasn't enough, which is why even Bardock ends up joining the fray. 3 generations joined for a combined Kamehameha that still struggled to beat Dbgt's attack. But after Goku powered up to MUI and Bardock used the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, grandfather, father, and son were finally enough to put an end to Dbgt's plans. This is obviously an instance in the Dragon Ball universe that will never be able to happen in the main series, and it is why Super Dragon Ball Heroes can be so unique and special while dealing with very emotional moments within the Dragon Ball world. Ultra Instinct Grand Priest Goku shows up. Vegeta got famously possessed in Dragon Ball GT by Baby, and he became a terrifying villain that only Super Saiyan 4 Goku was finally able to stop. Super Dragon Ball Heroes pulled off something pretty similar in episode 9 after, once again, Vegeta got possessed by the enemy. He then transformed into a sort of artificial being that started completely crushing Trunks with overwhelming power. Everything looked pretty bad, until Goku showed up alongside the Grand Priest. And yes, Goku had actually been training with him, which is why he was also wearing the very same outfit. Goku started assaulting the enemy through the use of the Ultra Instinct, and it really didn't take much to overpower the threat in the end. Sadly, this absolutely masterful moment by Goku didn't last for too long, since a few moments later the combined power of multiple villains ended up being too much even after the massive power-up he had received. A short-lived fantasy, but one that made many fans go absolutely nuts for it. Gogeta's Super Saiyan Blue evolution beats Rose's Super Saiyan 3. In episode 37 of the Dragon Ball Heroes anime, Rose had managed to evolve his power to the point that his Rose transformation was at the 3rd level of the Super Saiyans. Given how absurdly powerful was the base Super Saiyan Rose, obviously, with such a fearsome foe it was necessary to take special measures, and the measure used was Goku and Vegeta fusing as Gogeta. The fusion then started fighting Rose, and even simply through his blue transformation it was already pretty clear that he was way stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Rose Goku Black, which actually kinda tracks when taking into consideration how Vegeta Blue was manhandling Fused Zamasu in the main Dragon Ball Super series. Nevertheless, the advantage in battle didn't stop Gogeta from using a crazy powerful variation of the blue form, which is nowadays known as the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Although similar in name to the Super Saiyan Blue Evolve that Vegeta used in the Tournament of Power, the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution was actually closer to Goku's UI in terms of visual representation, especially through his moves. At this point, Gogeta was so superior to Rose that he managed to completely destroy him with a single final punch. Future Gohan and God Trunks fight together. Future Gohan and Future Trunks' timeline is one of the most iconic and tragic ones amongst all the Dragon Ball timelines, and for multiple different reasons. In this timeline, Goku, Vegeta, and all the other Z Warriors die at the hands of androids 17 and 18, with even Future Gohan dying eventually while trying to protect a Trunks who was still in his teens and unable to transform into a Super Saiyan. Their tale was always a brief yet powerful one, and Super Dragon Ball Heroes has always been really good at giving them amazing moments that the main series simply could not. In episode 47 of Dragon Ball Heroes, multiple villains from different Dragon Ball Z sagas and movies got empowered by a dark energy and ambushed Future Trunks, who was unable to fight back all by his lonesome. However, it was when Future Trunks was about to perish that Future Gohan showed up to fight by his side. The moment is special not only because of their transformations, but also because Gohan and Trunks fight with the desire to protect each other. Definitely one of the best duos in all of Dragon Ball. Cell saves Goku and Vegeta. Cell is one of Dragon Ball's most iconic villains, having forced Goku to sacrifice himself in order to save everyone during the original DBZ, and being the main trigger of Gohan's rage that eventually allowed him to unlock the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Even nowadays, he is still a relevant character with a variation as powerful as Cell Max, which is still technically not the Cell we all know, but obviously was used as a sort of powerful nostalgia tool. In Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the villain made an appearance, but in a puzzling way. He showed up to save Goku and Vegeta from what would have been certain death. After Goku had pushed his power to the point that he was starting to overwhelm Goku Black, the villain decided that the best way to ensure Goku Goku's death was to completely destroy the planet they were on. Obviously, under normal circumstances, Goku is always able to escape from such situations through the use of the instant transmission. Nevertheless, this time around, Goku was unable to sense any key whatsoever that could allow him to teleport to a completely different location. When death looked certain, Cell decided to save both Saiyans, as well as Hearts and Cumber, and pulled them to a safe location. Vegito Blue uses Kaioken. Vegito has always been one of the most powerful characters in all of the Dragon Ball lore, which seems logical given the fact that he is the Potara fusion of both Goku and Vegeta. Every time Vegito has shown up in the main series, he has completely destroyed his opponents, even if he has never actually won a battle. However, things changed in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, in particular during episode 3 of the Universal Survival Saga. With how powerful Cumber was, Vegito finally showed up to try and battle him, but still the power of the Blue fusion wasn't really enough. This is when Vegito Blue did something no one had ever seen before outside of Goku and DBS, and that was to use the Kaioken on top of the Blue transformation. Even with the massive power-up this represents for the warrior using it, Cumber was still managing to stop Vegito's assault. Actually, in the end, Cumber transformed into a Golden Uzaru, and given how long the battle had been raging on and how much power Vegito Blue had been using, Goku and Vegeta ended up separating without being able to defeat Cumber. Definitely one of the lowest moments of the fusion, even as cool as it looked while using the Kaioken on top of the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. Metal Cooler achieves his golden form. Cooler is Frieza's brother in Dragon Ball, a powerful villain that has only been featured in non-canon content. Just like the DBZ Broly, Cooler even managed to be the main character of up to 2 different movies in DBZ. A first one where he was seen using his final form, and a second one that showed him in a metal version of himself. Super Dragon Ball Heroes is very keen on drawing content from each and every saga throughout the whole Dragon Ball universe, so obviously Cooler was a character that was going to be featured sooner or later. He first appeared in his final form and even transformed to the golden form, and he later on repeated that very same feat in his metal version. This was episode 12 of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes, with Fu overseeing multiple fights for his larger project. One of those fights included Cumber against Metal Cooler, and initially Cumber was being pretty superior to Frieza's big brother. This was, however, until Metal Cooler achieved his golden form, which boasted such power that it completely turned the tide of the battle. Cumber just couldn't fight back anymore and was about to be completely annihilated by a Metal Golden Cooler super attack, which included the use of the 3 different supernovas, until he overheated. Metal Golden Cooler used too much sauce for the fight and his inner system just couldn't handle it, so he kinda ended up exploding. A bit of an anticlimactic turn of events, but at least Metal Golden Cooler could show off his incredible power. Gogeta Blue is joined by Jiren and Hit. Gogeta is the result of Goku and Vegeta fusing through the Metamoran dance, and just like Vegito, he is one of the strongest characters there is to find in the Dragon Ball universe. Gogeta first appeared during the Fusion Reborn movie, in the golden era of the DBZ movies, but it was not until the DBS Broly movie that he was actually acknowledged as a canon fusion for Goku and Vegeta. The first time we saw him, he used the Super Saiyan Blue form in order to completely dominate Broly in his full power Super Saiyan state, but things wouldn't go as smooth in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime. In episode 19 of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime, Gogeta had to enter this scene in order to battle Hearts, who had ascended in terms of power to heights very few could even imagine. Even if Blue Gogeta was actually able to match Heart's power in most instances, the latter used a final attack that really made Blue Gogeta struggle, that is until Jiren and Hit intervened. Both warriors decided to join Gogeta's technique and wrapped their ki beams through Gogeta's, creating a unique beam attack that was, in the end, able to destroy Heart's technique. Having taken care of that, Blue Gogeta could once again focus on beating Hearts and eventually manage to completely destroy him. Beerus saves the Earth from total destruction. What is even more uncommon than having a god of destruction personally visit your planet, having a god of destruction visit your planet, and save it from total obliteration? It was episode 22 in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime, and Fu had already put in motion a plan that was taking him to absorb the vital energy of any planet and the living beings inhabiting it. Earth was the next objective for the villain, and he didn't hesitate in spite of knowing that it was the home of powerful warriors like Goku and Vegeta. Fu committed to his plan and started draining the Earth of all its power, with characters such as Krillin starting to feel incredibly weak. It was then that Beerus provided a window for action. The God of Destruction decided to intercept Fu's tactic by exchanging the energy that was being drained for his. This also provided a unique outlook into Beerus's power as a God of Destruction. Basically, he halted the absorption process that was being done to a whole planet just by using himself as a decoy. And even if he clearly stated that this tactic was exhausting for him, he actually looked pretty capable. So while Beerus obviously has his duties as a God of Destruction, it was once again made pretty clear that he has a soft spot for Earth. Or at least for all the delicious food that he knows he is only able to find there. And this is all for now, but do remember that the Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime never stops growing and giving us moments that are hard to even imagine. If you want to watch more of this content and learn more about the craziest of things that Super Dragon Ball Heroes is able to pull off, remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all.